Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let me see if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me, Ron? How y'all doing this morning? We got my coffee going. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. I don't know if I got my headphones on. I can't hear anybody. I can't hear anything, so I don't know why. That's funny. I'm used to when I'm going live or whatever, I have my headphones on so I can hear who's talking to me, but that doesn't really matter. How are y'all doing this morning? It is hot outside. It is loud. Every time I go live, it seems like I have people, the landscapers show up when I'm outside. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go live from, let's put the microphone a little closer, huh? So I go live from the studio. There's a little bit of a lag on YouTube, apparently. But if y'all can hear me all right, let me know in the chats down below. Got this pulled up. Hope y'all are doing good. This first time I've actually been live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. See how it goes. We're definitely live on Riverside. Riverside is just my software that I use, though. Hope everybody's doing good. It has been hot. It has been really hot and really dry. But this week it's starting to cool down a little bit, so it's not so bad. It's starting to cool down in the evenings. It didn't feel so bad outside earlier. But it's still just been so dry. I've got cracks in my yard that are about that deep. I'm worried. I almost dropped an AirPod down one of the cracks. Almost. It fell right below where the crack was. So luckily I didn't lose an AirPod Pro. That would have been very upsetting to me. But it's just been dry and watering a ton. If y'all just hopped in the live, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know who's in the chat. If you can hear me all right, let me know as well. If you can hear me good, if the quality looks good. With first the live stream on with my new computer. So I like to do these Friday morning lives. If y'all don't know, I do. I work 4/10s, so I'm off every Friday morning. So I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then this week I'm actually off Monday too, so it's nice. But yeah, I like to go live in the mornings to really, talk to people right when they're getting up. I like to talk to people right when they're getting up and around, getting ready for work, all that good stuff, and it seems like it's a good time. People like to listen to stuff while they're getting up and around, and so that's what this is. I hope y'all are having a great Friday morning. TGIF. I got my coffee here. Got my Volkswagen mug. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's my Volkswagen mug. One of my favorite mugs. I hope y'all are doing well. Let's check the stream and see if it looks all right. Let's go see if it looks good. Let's check the stream and see if it looks all right. It's a little choppy. It's a little choppy. That's being on YouTube and Facebook. I might just go ahead and end the stream. Let me end the stream on YouTube and we'll just go live on Facebook for a little bit. How's that? No, we'll leave it on. Yeah, but I hope y'all are doing good. Friday mornings are always my favorite because I'm off. Usually Friday mornings are the time when I like to go grocery shopping. This morning I've got to go over to my dad's. He's out of town. My dad's actually at the Grand Canyon right now. So I got to go take care of his garden. That's always the thing that people worry about when they are in the garden is, or when they have a garden is, can I go out of town? Can I do this? Can I do that? I don't recommend it when it's this hot and dry, honestly. It's pretty rough, but I mean, it is what it is, you can't shut down your entire life for your garden and everything. So, it is what it is. But for the most part, my yard, I can pretty much walk away for a weekend. I've got mostly everything clear, and I don't have stress about it, honestly. I really don't have to stress about it at all. Um, Not everything is on a sprinkler, but I can kind of get by. I don't know what do y'all usually do when y'all go out of town and you got your garden, especially when it's this dry. Like, what do you even do? Like, well, I guess if the sprinkler timers are really the only thing you can do to kind of keep your garden alive while you're, you know, out of town or whatever. I'm always scared, and there's plenty of plants and stuff like native Texas plants that'll do really well for a couple days while you're out of town and everything. But stuff like your peppers, I don't want my bougainvilleas to die. I don't want my plumerias to die. I'm sure a lot of them are pretty drought resistant, but I don't want to lose them. Mm. Thank y'all so much to the Cog Squad for coming over. A bunch of members of the Cog Squad came over after I did the interview with Jason from Cog Hill Farm. That was such a fun interview. Jason's such a cool dude. We've been talking, texting back and forth since then. um, I had the idea to interview Jason because I enjoyed watching his videos. I've been watching Cog Hill videos for probably going on 5 years now. Honestly, no, 3 or 4 years. So it's been a while, and I first got introduced, I think, when he was doing some renovations on his camper or that RV back in the day. Whenever he was redoing stuff, I was getting into woodworking. I wasn't even I was gardening, but I wasn't doing any gardening content, and uh, I ended up seeing some of his woodworking and carpentry work they were doing. Um, and that's how I first found Jason. I think I found him because I was already following Jason Contreras from Sow the Land and Justin Rhodes and all them dudes. But I really enjoy, him going around with the animals and just their entire family, how open they are, to being on camera and sharing their life with people. It's really neat to see someone do that, and especially whenever they've been doing it for a long time. And uh, I've been gardening probably 6, 7 years now. I've kind of gardened my whole life. My family had not a farm, but we gardened growing up. My family's originally like from the Austin Lagrange area, and they moved down here to like the Houston area, more like the Gulf Coast, probably back in the late '80s. So we've been in this area for a while. And my grandpa always had a garden. His dad always had a garden. It was always such a good time to spend some time outside in the garden, climbing some trees, picking figs and all that good stuff. We just really enjoyed it. And so whenever I moved in an apartment, we immediately started growing in like containers and little raised beds and stuff like that. Um, it was cool to grow some of your own food. You know, even as grow whatever you can grow. Honestly, if you have a little tiny balcony, maybe you can grow a couple pepper plants, maybe a tomato plant. Get you a patio tomato plant. But whenever I moved into this subdivision, I saw my backyard as a blank canvas. Really, I mean, it's not a tiny backyard by any means, but it's not huge either. But there was nothing else. It was just the empty backyard. And so I looked at it like an empty canvas, a blank canvas, and I was like, well, I can do whatever I want to this backyard. I can plant whatever trees I want, whatever I want to do. And it's kind of evolved since then. I think every year, I get rid of some containers and move into this. I move away from certain plants and get into certain things. You kind of, as a gardener, it's kind of like being like a young adult. Your tastes evolve, the things you like evolve, and you get into different things. And so I would say if when I first started out, I didn't want to grow anything that didn't produce food. If it didn't make a berry, a fruit, a veggie, I wasn't really interested in growing it. But that kind of evolved. I got into some Texas native pollinator plants and saw the benefits of growing pollinator plants. Honestly, growing pollinator plants is such a good idea. I mean, you can have 50 tomato plants, and if they're not getting pollinated, really well, then what's the point? So I mean, adding native pollinators, adding just some exotic stuff like the plumerias, the adeniums, the bougainvilleas, stuff like that. And that's why I started doing like the plant of the week and highlighting a different plant every single week. I need to make a video this weekend on a plant of the week. Maybe I'll do something native. I've been wanting to do a video on the Esperanza. I did like a little one a while back, but I'd like to do another one. Um, but if y'all haven't already, go check out the Cog Hill Farms interview I did with Jason. It was so much fun. Jason's such a nice dude out of Alabama. I think I said Roll Tide in the video, and I just assumed everybody from Alabama was an Alabama fan. I don't know if that's true or not. I guess it would be like if someone said, if you're from Texas, you're obviously a Longhorn fan. And when it comes to me, I don't care about college football at all, so I don't know why I even said it. That's just the instinctual thing to say when you're talking to someone from Alabama, I guess. Roll Tide, I don't know if that's his team, or I don't know. It's just such a stupid thing to say. I was a little nervous because I had been watching them for so long. But Jason's just the nicest dude. He's just the nicest, most normal guy. We talked in the interview for probably an hour and some change, and I think we talked for like another hour afterwards that we probably could have recorded. But it was cool to get some insight and some advice from someone who's been doing it for. I mean, I think he's been doing YouTube for over 10 years now. So I will be posting more stuff on YouTube, more long term. I always have the problem saying long term. Long term, long form content on YouTube and Facebook. But I really need to continue to post the stuff on Instagram and TikTok as well. So be looking out. If you don't follow me on all the platforms, I'm on every single platform you can think of. Texas Garden Guy. For some reason, Texas Garden Guy was available. I couldn't believe it that no one had taken Texas Garden Guy, because that sounds like, I don't know. I figured someone had taken it. I think you mentioned a meet and greet type event recently. Is that a thing? So when and where? So we're having our fall garden meetup at my buddy Jorge's Hidden Gardens in Alvin, Texas on September 30th. It's going to be from 8 to 4. So the way it works is that we have a morning and an afternoon. So if you're a morning person, you come to the 8 to 11 meetup. If you're an afternoon person, it's from 1 to 4, so that we get a little bit of a break in between. We had so many people sign up. We had over 100 people sign up last year. So we split it up in 2 spots because my buddy doesn't have enough parking spaces for like 100 people. So we split it up to like an afternoon and a morning shift of doing the meetup. So the way it works in my buddy's nursery, we always do it this way, and it's so much fun. I get a bunch of content creators. If y'all haven't seen the flyer, go check it out. It's on my Instagram, Facebook page. In my Instagram, there's a link to the sign up to actually go RSVP. It's a totally free event. Me, Jorge's Hidden Gardens, a buddy Jorge, Brandon, Gardening with BMO, Jay with Texas Gardener Magazine is going to be there. Nelson's Plant Food is going to be there giving out samples. The way it works is, so when everybody shows up, they get a raffle ticket. They're going to get a raffle ticket, and then we'll wait till everybody shows up, and then we'll go ahead and head out. The way we like to do it is we walk through the nursery. We'll walk through the nursery and kind of do a tour through the different, categories of plants. And as we're going through, we'll stop like every 5 minutes or so, and we'll talk about, a certain plant, when to plant it, how to plant it, what it's good for. Do you need another one of these? If we're talking about peaches and pears, do you need another one of these plants for good pollination rates? So that's a really good opportunity to ask questions from experts. So and then at the end, we come back around to the main little awning, and then we do a raffle. So there's gonna be free plants. I'll probably have some Texas Garden Guy hats and some stickers, and because my dog get hurt someone honking. My dog heard someone honking, so he's freaking out. But it's going to be a good time, and it's totally free. We're going to have more content creators probably coming. I believe at lunchtime, Jorge's got a taco truck coming. We'll have an ice cream truck. Kids are welcome. Dogs are welcome. And after all the raffle and everything, we'll kind of just hang out and mingle. If y'all want to do some videos, if you're a content creator, maybe come early or stay late. But there is a link in my Instagram, on my Facebook. If you go to my Facebook, or I think it's on my YouTube too. If you go to my profile, there should be a link to my beacons, and there's an RSVP link where it gives you all the details. And if you could please RSVP, that way we can get a head count and kind of know what we're getting into, you know. And I picked late September so that it would be kind of better weather. The one in the spring was like the last frost. It's like no matter which date we pick, me and Jorge cannot get it right. We cannot get it right. Jorge's my best bud. We cannot get the date right. We always pick the hottest day of the year or like the last coldest day for the spring. It just takes a little bit. But if you can, come on out, meet some of the guys, and it's going to be a good time. And Jorge always has sales going on at these meetups too. They're exclusive only to the meetups. So he's going to be having like clearances on like fruit trees, all kinds of stuff. So you don't want to miss it. He said you're the reason he has started the Cog Hill Kids channel debuting tomorrow. Yeah. So we were talking after we stopped recording, we were talking, and I had mentioned earlier in the video about how, you know, he has a genius way of doing his videos. There's a formula to making the videos, and it's genius. So every single Cog Hill Farm video you watch, you're going to see the first 5 minutes or so is going to be Jason and Mary Carl, Brooke, whoever, going out there and feeding the animals, which, you know, if you work on a farm or anything like that, that's what happens first thing in the morning. So that's the first thing you're going to show in the videos. So he's going out there feeding, checking all the animals. Duke, come sit down. It's kind of funny. He talks about the animals as if they're characters, like in a show, like in a play, which is freaking genius. Because if you have that many supporting characters, it's a lot more fun for the audience to get invested and really kind of become fans of certain animals. So that's really smart. And I told him that I'm sure there's kids, you know, that just watch like the first 5 minutes of the videos because they want to see you feed the animals. And then there's other people that stick around for, I don't know, whenever you have a YouTube channel, you can look at your analytics and see how long people are sticking around. Like what time, how much time on average are they listening to this video? And so if you see like that they're only watching like the first 5 minutes, so well, they're just sticking around for the animals. And then the way YouTube, after all that child, harassment stuff went on YouTube, they changed YouTube up. So anytime you upload a video onto YouTube, there's this little box you got to check. So if your video is specifically made for children, you click this box, and that means they won't target like mature ads to those videos. They won't really target ads at all. I think my computer just froze. We back? Okay. So the way it works, my freaking I didn't move my mouse and my screen froze up. So the way it works on YouTube is that if you don't click that link, then it won't go on YouTube Kids, which is, I believe, a separate app. And so I suggested to Jason, I was like, hey, why don't you just make a kid version where it's specifically for children and make it like Cog Hill Kids and just do kids videos so that, dude, stop. My dog is just back here licking my couch. Stop it. And so that you can be on the app. I know there's another guy named Cowboy Jack that I'm buddies with on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and that's all he does. He does just kid videos, and I had told Jason, I was like, that's a really cool idea. You should try that out, and that um, just to see how it goes. So I mean, he ran with it. He like little bit later on, he sent me a link, or not a link, a screenshot of their new Cog Hill Kids logo, and I was like, that's hilarious. This dude works fast, So that's awesome. Good on him for really. He's a hard working dude. That dude works so hard. It's a really an inspiration to get to talk to someone who's so passionate about what they do. A lot of us work jobs and have careers, and not everybody loves what they do. I love making content. I love making videos. I love the editing process. I love the detail orientation that goes with editing and clipping and making the thumbnails. I love everything about that kind of stuff. Yeah, thanks for the info. Only thing that sucks is I divorced social media several years ago, so I get discouraged when I don't have anyone else to share my planting nerd stuff. Oh, yeah, I understand. That's what's so cool about the. I can actually put the link right here. Um, that's what's so cool about these meetups is that there's other people, like Jorge's customers and stuff, that aren't really like social media people either. Not everybody's really like a plant, like a nerdy plant content maker or anything like that, like me. Let me just put the link for this meetup right here. This is, there we go. I'll put the link right here. That is the sign up link right there. Boom. And I will put the sign up link here on Facebook as well. Boom. So that is the link to go RSVP for the fall meetup. It's going to be a lot of fun. That way, that gives you all the details, all the address, the information. It's a free event. Like I said, kids are invited. It's kid friendly. There's going to be, I think he's going to have the taco truck around lunchtime. So be looking forward to that. And we're going to have he's going to have a bunch of sales and clearances on a bunch of plants. So I'm looking forward to it. September 30th. It's coming up. I'm actually going to be at another meetup, kind of. I got offered to go to an expo. I'm going to be at the Montgomery County Fall Outdoor Festival on September 17th. So if you're like up there by Conroe, Magnolia, Plantersville. My in-laws actually live in Plantersville, so we're going to go stay up there for the weekend, and I'll be there on the 17th, that Sunday. I think from yeah, that's going to be a good time. Tacos and plates, can't go wrong. Does blood really make grass grow? So that's a really good question. I mean, I'm assuming this man isn't a serial killer. No, so there is a product that is called blood meal, and I used to use it a lot and not so much now, just because I use other fertilizers that are like readily available with those micronutrients already in them. Oh my God, I just had two dudes I went to the Air Force with come into my life. Now I'm nervous. But anyway, so they make a product called Blood Meal, and it's supposed to be really healthy for your lawn. I want to say it's mostly like chicken byproduct. They drain the blood from chickens or maybe cows, pigs. It could be anything, but they dry that blood out, and you can use it in the garden. You can use it in your lawn. I mean, I don't think people put blood meal out in their lawn. I know. I don't know if it's high in nitrogen or what. Oh God, no, it's not like that. Oh my goodness. Tacos and plants, Aggie fan. That's my. I'll let me see if I can find a link for that. I don't know. You might go to my Facebook page. Here, let me follow that. Fall Montgomery County. This is why I need a producer. Fall Montgomery Fall Montgomery County. This is why I need someone else to be doing this. Outdoor living. My dog is back here huffing and puffing. I just took him out. It's a beautiful morning here. Let's see. I got my coffee hot in my. So it's actually at the Conroe. It's actually at the Conroe. Yeah, I'll put a link right here. Yeah, boom. So here is the link for the outdoor living show. Boom. It is at the Conroe Community Center or the Expo Center. Should be a good time. Let's see, what is it called? The Lone Star Convention Center in Conroe. So yeah, I'll be there. I'll have a table set up and be answering gardening questions, hanging out. I can't wait for all the people asking about grass and stuff. I always get the most. I always get the most questions about grass and things like that. You know, when it's not, and when we're not in the drought, grass kind of just grows normal. It seems like it seems like the more I would do to my grass when I first moved in, the worse my grass looked. And so I left it alone. And it's been so dry. We have not gotten like a significant rain in probably 2 or 3 months here just south of Houston. So I have been watering and adding humates and all kinds of good stuff. You love grass? I love grass too. Not really. But I finally got fed up with it. And Petra Tools, they make these awesome battery operated sprayers. They also make a grass paint where you can put it in your sprayer. I think it comes in like a 32-ounce bottle or like a gallon, and then you dilute it with about I think it's 10-1. So you use 32 ounces, you can do like 3.25 gallons of water. I went up to 4. I found that I could dilute it a little bit more and it looks all right. But I actually did a video and I started dyeing my grass. I started painting my grass. And it turned out really nice. I ran out about halfway because you think a 32-ounce bottle is going to go pretty far. It doesn't go super far. So I highly recommend, if you're just going to use it, if you're going to use it actually paint your entire lawn, you're probably going to want to get a gallon. But if you're just doing like for like patches where your dog pees and it kills the grass, 32-ounce like little spot treatment would be fine. But I was going like, I'm going to paint my whole lawn green. And I've got another bottle here. I'm going to try to finish my front yard maybe today, maybe tomorrow, and try to get the whole yard painted green. My grass is dead. I got St. Augustine. The grass is freaking dead. So I'm not worried about killing the grass because it's already dead. But the stuff is non-toxic. It's safe for pets. It dries fast, and it's not toxic. It's not going to affect the earth. I had so many comments on the video. Quit poisoning planet Earth, and I was like, "Oh my god, lady, chill out." You think I'm out here spraying poison in my front yard? Jesus. This coffee's kicking in hard, baby. Woo! So yeah, let's see. We got a question over here. Should I be watering mature fruit trees during the drought? Absolutely, yes. So if you have a mature fruit tree during this drought, you're not gonna lose it if it's been in the ground for quite a few years. There is a chance that the drought could kill it, but it's got a deep taproot. Say you got like a peach tree that's been in the ground for like 5 years or so. It's got a pretty deep taproot. So the drought's probably not going to kill it. What you might see is that certain plants, like my crepe myrtle outside, it's in the ground. It's dropping a lot of leaves. Does that mean the tree is dying? Not necessarily. Trees have a fight or flight response. So they're either going to fight it through and like use every last bit of energy and push out all that new growth and all those flowers so they can reseed themselves and, die and then let their offspring continue. Or they're going to have a flight where they're going to drop those leaves, conserve that energy, and just kind of sit in their little safe space, like, curled up in the corner, like during a tornado. Just like, all right, it's going to rain eventually. It's going to rain eventually. So I would suggest, if you're looking to get fruit, be watering that tree, because if not, it's going to drop. You won't get fruit this year. The trees in Minnesota will be shedding all their leaves soon. Yeah, well, Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes, and it's always wet up there. It's always wet up there, but it's almost winter already too. Yeah, we don't really, our leaves don't really lose, our trees don't lose their leaves to probably January. It feels like, if at all. Um, let's see. I agree with your recent video where you talked about planting Bermuda. Even though most people hate it, it's so easy to maintain for us people who don't really care about grass. Absolutely. Is it the land of 10,000 lakes, Inky? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the land of 10,000 lakes. Did I say 1,000? Um, so, yes, Bermuda. I have St. Augustine, and it sucks. St. Augustine grass, if you have it, which is pretty common down here in Houston, um, it's a good growing grass if you got like a shady area. If you got a shady area and you're getting really good irrigation, um, your St. Augustine is going to do really well. That's the most popular grass down here. A lot of people are going back to the Bermuda or the fescue or the zoysia grass, I think that's how you say it, because it's more heat tolerant. So in my subdivision, I've got 2 oak trees in the front yard. They maybe shade out 1/4 of the yard, depending on where the sun's at. And wherever the trees aren't blocking the sun, it is dead, 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 dead. So I'm gonna dye my grass, and then in the fall, I'm gonna take it easy, buddy. Um, in the fall, I'm going to plant Bermuda grass, fertilize, and the Bermuda grass will do just fine out in the open sun, out in the heat. Bermuda grass don't care. One thing I did find out from my buddy Jorge, who is a landscaper, is that he hates Bermuda grass because Bermuda grass seeds itself. St. Augustine, you got to do it by like a pallet with pieces of St. Augustine. When you're driving on the road and you see someone dropped a big old square of grass, that's probably St. Augustine. Bermuda is seeded. They put the seeds down, and apparently the seeds from the Bermuda grass are sweet. And so the ants will actually, if you have ants in your flower bed, they will go and get the seeds and they will carry the seeds into your flower beds and fill up your bed with Bermuda grass. And Jorge said that he hates that so much. He said he hates it, he hates it, he hates it because he always has stuff coming up in the flower beds. Let's see. I have a half a yard with zoysia, half with Bermuda, and the front yard of St. Augustine. The zoysia is all dead, even though I've been watering it. Sometimes the worst thing you can do is just continue to watering it, I think, too. Yeah, I don't know. There's a guy over here in my subdivision who does content, and he's called the Bermuda Dude. And I met him over at my friend's Sienna Mulch. They're actually going to do a meetup in November that I'll be at. But I'm going to get him over here to consult me. I don't know if I'm going to pay him, depending on how much it costs. But I may have him come over here and consult me and give me like what I need to do if I want to reseed my whole lawn in Bermuda or zoysia, or maybe there's some other hybrid. I've even heard about a new hybrid St. Augustine. It's called like a Lone Star Augustine, like Lone Star St. Augustine. I don't know. I'm very ignorant when it comes to lawn stuff because I want to grow stuff that looks pretty and makes food. So I'm a lot less concerned with growing grass. If it was up to me, I probably would have like mulch, wood chips over the grass and just have a nice place. But I've got an 85-pound German Shepherd who needs a place to run around, pee, and poop on. So, and I want to do that in wood chips and mulch and stuff. So I definitely have to have some lawn, have some grass, especially because I don't want to live in this area forever. Not that I want to live in this area. I'm not going to live in this house, this subdivision forever. If I could move out tomorrow, I would. So, yep. Am I live on? That's what's going on right now. I just realized I'm live on my personal page, not my Texas Garden Guy page on Facebook. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh my God, that's funny, man. It is what it is, though. It's all good. Hope everybody's having a good Friday morning. Hopefully everybody's ready for the Labor Day weekend. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, why are my buddies from the Air Force hopping in my live? When I was in the Air Force, these are all a lot of my buddies I used to hang out with and stuff. And it turns out I'm live on my personal page and not. Yeah, that's hilarious. That is hilarious, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm excited though for this weekend. Like I said, I've got my camera all charged up. We're gonna go back to basics. When I first started out making videos, I was like, I want to do YouTube videos. Everybody wants to make YouTube videos. Um, Problem with the YouTube video is typically that you spend all day shooting video. You spend all day setting up tripods, moving stuff around, recording this, that, and getting a whole day full of content. Um, and then you spend all night editing. You spend all night editing, and nobody watches your video, and so you get discouraged. I did that for like 6 months. I did it for like 6 months until I met my buddy Froberg, who actually told me, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and just start making TikTok videos?" And I already had Instagram, so he was like, "Why don't you do Instagram videos?" And I was like, "Cool, I can do that." And I started doing it, and it took off like crazy. And it was a lot less work and a lot. I mean, it was still work. Don't get me wrong, but it was not as time consuming. And so, I moved over to that, and I'm I've done pretty well on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I just hit 120,000 followers on Texas Garden Guy on the Facebook page. I hit it last night. Yep, yeah, Froberg Farm. Yep, that's my buddy Tyler. Um, and so yeah, I hit 120,000 on Facebook. I hit 120,000 on Facebook, and I'm still at 112 on Instagram. And I've been doing a lot of Instagram, so that's reassuring. So we'll continue to do the reels. We'll continue to do the TikToks. We'll add the long form stuff. I just bought a new computer, getting some editing software, getting it down. Um, but it's been hot, and so it's kind of been slow. We're getting into fall, and we are going to be hitting that fall garden hard, baby. It's getting into fall garden meetup time. It is time for winter vegetables. A lot of people in other parts of the country they grow, kale and cabbage and lettuce throughout the spring and summer. In this part of Texas, we grow it over winter. I'm growing my kale, my cabbage, my broccoli, my Brussels sprouts. We're going big this year. I've got a ton of raised beds. I got a ton of real estate. We're going to grow a bunch of stuff. We're going to add fruit trees. We're going to go to other nurseries. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. We're going to do so much content. I can't wait for everybody to see what we're going to do. I am a machine. I'm a content making machine, and I will not give up. That was aggressive. Coffee is hitting hard this morning. Ooh. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I usually do these videos outside, but it seems like every time I go live outside, my neighbor's throwing a party like in the evening, or my other neighbor has their landscaper there and the lawnmower's just going all the way in the background. So that's why I moved it indoors today, this morning. But I got to run. I got to go check some stuff out. If y'all haven't already, go to my YouTube channel and check out the newest newest episode of the Texas Garden Guy Show with Jason Smith from the Cog Hill Farm, YouTube famous dude. And I will catch y'all later. I got to push like 8 buttons to like